Trimble. Dan Geltrude is with me now in the flesh. Geltrude and Company founder, great market reading accountant, knows numbers inside and out. You know, Dan, on this race, does it matter for the markets who wins? Donald Trump says he loses, the markets are going to tank. Harris says, well, they've not done that this year in 3.5 years of Biden-Harris, so stuff that. So what do you think?
Well, I think it matters who becomes the president, Neil. There's no doubt about it. But I'll tell you who matters more. Jay Powell. I actually believe that the Fed has more influence over what's going on economically and especially with the stock market. Why? Well, just because a presidential candidate or a president says something doesn't mean it's going to happen. But when Jay Powell was speaking, everybody's listening. And what does it mean? And based upon how the Fed has been acting, what I've been saying is they've been like FDIC insurance on the stock market.
That's a great line.
They will not allow this market to go down.
But you mentioned Donald Trump, Dan. I mean, he's not a fan of Jerome Powell. He's made it very clear that when his chairmanship is up, it won't be him.
Well, he may change that if Jerome Powell is doing what he wants. Remember, Trump has had a lot of people who don't like him and he doesn't like them, and then they say something nice about him or they do something he likes.
He's transactional. He's transactional.
Then they're back in good graces.
But what is the Fed doing that investors like? Obviously, the market's racing to highs again and again and again. We are entering the third year of a bull market. You were telling me during the break you see that going on a while longer, right?
Yeah, I do, because of the way, again, the Fed is reacting. Right now, he's signaling we're going to have lowering of interest rates. There's a lot of cash on the sideline, Neil, which means we could anticipate that money's going to go into the market. But again, driven by what Jerome Powell is telling everybody.
A couple of hypotheticals then for you, Dan. The betting not too long ago was that we were going to see another half-point cut November 6th, the day after the election. That has whittled down to then a quarter-point cut, now no cut at all. I don't know where you stand on that, but how would the markets react to no cut at all?
Well, I think it really depends, Neil, on where they think we're going to go. I don't think there's any doubt that we have started a cycle where rates are going to be cut. It doesn't mean it's going to be every month, but a year from now, I anticipate interest rates are going to be much lower than where they are right now.
All right, so a Fed funds rate probably in the 3-something neck of the woods.
I think so.
And you're right. A lot of the Fed governors, district presidents have been saying that. What about your sense of technology stocks and all of this? A lot of people feel, I missed the whole market rally. A lot of people feel that way when a bull market, takes on some years. This is still a young bull market. What do you tell them?
Well, as it relates to technology, I'm saying don't count out technology companies. We are really scratching the surface as to where everything is going. I mean, Neil, there's nothing we do that's not impacted by.
But you don't find that already reflected in some of these stocks? You're quite right. I was looking at the multiple on the Magnificent Seven. It's only 28. I mean, because as much as the stocks go up, the earnings go up more.
Absolutely. And why? Because everybody and everything is so reliant on technology advancements. So, I mean, look at the things that Elon Musk is doing right now, Neil. These are things we never even thought possible and still scratching the surface.
Okay. We have the debt. We have all of these problems. You're an accountant with training, so you kind of know we can't keep doing this, but both parties keep doing this. There's going to be a day of reckoning. I don't know when it is. I thought it would have been years ago, but what do you think?
Well, I agree with you. There's going to be a day of reckoning, but I don't know when it's going to be either, Neil. We are in such uncharted territory in terms of how much debt, not just the government, Neil, how about people with their personal debt, with credit cards? So we just keep going. You can make an argument that a lot of this economic growth we've had, Neil, is all debt driven.
Now, what about tariffs? Donald Trump wants a lot more tariffs. What's that going to do?
Well, that could be interesting, Neil. I do think that tariffs can be used effectively on the international stage. However, when we get into that, now we see, is there going to be inflation? I don't see how we don't have inflation if we're going to be putting tariffs in place.
All right, Dan, thank you for that.